Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on managing apps across Windows and macOS. We're going to just give it one more minute for people to join. So we'll start shortly. Well, again, good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on managing apps across Windows and macOS. We're thrilled to see such a diverse group of attendees joining us from around the globe. Maybe some more people will drop in, but we'll just give it a start. My name is Saskia de Ronde, and I'm Liquid's channel manager for the Benelux region. Today, I'm mainly here to introduce our main star, Donny van der Linden. Donny is my technical partner in crime, and he'll be doing all the heavy lifting today. So consider me just the opening act. Now, before we dive into the nitty-gritty of managing apps across Windows and macOS, let's quickly go over some house rules to ensure a smooth and productive webinar. This webinar is scheduled to last 30 minutes, and we'll aim to cover as much ground as possible within this time frame to make the session informative and engaging. Please note that the webinar is recorded for future reference and distribution. And last but not least, we highly encourage you to ask questions. If you have any questions, thoughts, or insights, please use the question mark button on the right, and we will address your queries at the end of the webinar. So today we're diving into the complex world of managing applications across two of the most widely used operating systems, Windows and macOS. In a recent survey conducted by Recast Software, many insights were uncovered regarding the challenges around this topic. So according to the survey, and not very surprising, 92% of organizations have the Windows operating system in their environment. However, a noteworthy 40% also have macOS in their environment as well. And when you break down the operating system by the weighted average percent within the environment, Windows represented 72% of all endpoints on average, while macOS took 9%. So it's not surprising that a majority of IT professionals reported challenges in ensuring compatibility and seamless functioning of applications across Windows and macOS. And also, they expressed the need for comprehensive management solutions to streamline the process. So hopefully, by the end of today's webinar, each of you will leave with valuable insights to navigate the complex landscape of managing apps across Windows and macOS. So without further ado, let's dive right in, and I'll hand over to Donny.
Good morning, everybody. So I'm Donny van der Linden, and you're basically stuck with me this morning. So let's get started. I have 100 slides and some demo stuff to cover this morning. So let's get the show on the road. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not having that much of the slides, but yeah, let's get started. Just like Saskia already mentioned in today's word, managing your application and endpoints becomes more important. Where diversity in OS is the norm, partially determined by the fact that employees often have the free choice of a device, and therefore, which makes operating system the way they want to work, whatever that is, Windows or macOS. This makes it more challenging for IT professionals. With one big question, how do you manage those applications across Windows and macOS? How do you keep those apps up to date and give the users the right applications where they are entitled to? Most organizations will use Intune as their MDM solution to manage their Windows devices. Intune can also manage macOS devices. It's possible that Intune is sufficient for most organizations to also manage their macOS devices. But as we all know, Intune has its shortcomings in the field of application management and development. Some as the well-known frustrations are the application packaging and packaging struggle, which are time-consuming. The application deployment part, which can take a while. This is where Liquid comes into play. We can fill up the gaps and more on the area of application management and deployment. Basically, we got you covered. What can Liquid bring to the table? So you can see a lot of functionality what we can bring, but I recap some main functionality. No worries about repackaging your application. Vendor release updates on a regular basis. Then you have to repackage the thing all over again and then the deployment part. Liquids can save you a lot of time. No more waiting. Real-time app deployment, which increases user productivity by empowering your users to focus on their work. Remove all the complexity to access every application anywhere. Ensure a consistent user experience across any platform, so both Windows and macOS. Dynamically app delivery based on context, application lifecycle management, and of course, we have our own Liquid setup store with 1,000 set of applications. How does it all work? I already mentioned it, Liquid setup store. It's basically your own store with 1,000 applications. Which applications? You can think of Adobe Reader, Google Chrome, Microsoft Office 365, and etc. What we do every day is what we do in Liquid Setup Store is every day check at the vendor side. If there is a new version, we make it available immediately to our customers as well. We can do this on several ways. So the latest version is always installed and patched. Second, we first check that those applications in the Liquid Setup Store, if there are viruses or malware detected. If there is, we notify you about it, and still it's up to IT to use those packages or not. Third point, we first choose those applications in the Liquid backend. One moment. Third point, we also provide CVEs information and links to the CVE articles when they are applied. Last point, we also know all the customizations of the X and MSI that vendors are using. So you guys don't have to worry about this anymore and figure this out. Saves you a lot of time. These are some customizations that we can do. For example, these are customizations in the Google Chrome options. So it's basically ticking a box to enable stuff or not. You also see the CVEs mentions and links to the articles. But Liquid Setup Store is not only about automatically updating applications. In some cases, like Google Chrome, you don't want to do automatically patching because vendors have plugins and extensions that you rely on. You probably want to test those first. In Liquid, there is a data functionality where you can test those applications, add a group of functional application admins, and if they are okay with it, then you can set it manually to production. So there are two ways. manually update the stuff. So basically you update the application, deploy it to the test group, and then you deploy it to production. Or semi-automation updates. You deploy the application automatically to the test group, and then the next step is to deploy it manually on your time and needs to production. Then we also have the liquid workspace. What is the liquid workspace? Basically, it's your own company application store or repository. Here you can configure your custom apps or legacy apps, which aren't in the liquid setup store. It works just like the way the liquid setup store does. The only difference is that IT is responsible for updating the app. If the vendor provides you with a new version, then you can update this in the liquid workspace manually and set it to production when it's can set it to production directly when to make it available to your users or devices. We just talked about the liquid setup store and what it can offer to you. But what if we can also bring apps from Microsoft Store and apps from the Apple Store? Later this year, we are bringing the application from macOS. We can do the same thing about application management and deployment from one platform, installing your app where and when the user needs the application. Keep your application up to date. You can see us as a one big one-stop shop for everything that application is related. Liquid is also capable of doing a deployment. We can create a Liquid deployment which can start after the Liquid agent is installed, and when the agent is active, we can kick off a deployment, for example, during Microsoft Intune autopilot phase, to install a basic set of applications. So with that in mind, we can create one Liquid deployment to install a basic set of applications on Windows and macOS. Of course, we can use the Liquid Setup Store application for macOS and the Microsoft Store. In my demo, I've created one deployment where I basically want to install Microsoft 365, Microsoft Teams, and Slack. I want to do that on both macOS and Windows. So these are in my deployment, and I basically use a filter to say this applies only when the platform is macOS, and these apps only apply when the platform is Windows. So going back, how does it look like on macOS, on Mac platform? Of course, I'm using PowerShell script, and what it basically does is that it talks to a Bootstrap, and a Bootstrap is a lightweight tool that installs the latest version of the macOS, of the latest version of the Liquid agent. And after it's active, you will see it kicks off the deployment. So in this phase, it has installed my Liquid agent, and it has registered my device at the Liquid workspace. And now it sees that there is a deployment available, and it's now kicking off my deployment. So we're not going to wait on when the deployment is finished. So deployment is finished. As you now can see, all my applications are installed. My Office applications, Teams, and Slack. We can do the same thing on a Windows platform. Again, we're using a PowerShell script that does the same on the macOS environment. So we're kicking off the script. It's now installing my Liquid agent, register my Liquid agent at my Liquid workspace environment. And if it's active, it sees that there is a deployment waiting for it, and it will kick off my deployment. So there we go. And it's now kicking off my deployment with the same set of applications as in macOS. So Microsoft 365, Teams, and Slack. So we're going to skip the deployment part. So to show you that already all the things are installed, Microsoft 365, Teams, and of course, Slack is installed. So that's too far. Smart icon. What is a smart icon? Smart icon technology. It's where it all comes together, where IT decides what will be automated when a user clicks on an icon. For example, Excel. When a user clicks on Excel, but it also needs a printer mapping or drive mapping, Liquid can make that happen. But also to check if an application is installed or on the latest version. If not, we can install or update the application right away without the user even noticing it. For this install or update, the magic can be done, of course, by the Liquid Setup Store, or maybe if it's a custom app or a legacy app, by your Liquid Workspace, where you manage your custom apps. So for now, we're going to the macOS part again and do some demoing stuff. Because I'm not having SSO applied because my devices are not managed by Intune. So there is no SSO, I have to log in. So it's the same for macOS and Windows because they're not joined. So I basically have to log in. Right. There we go. And what you can see now is that basing on logging in on macOS, I have two apps available, Chrome and WhatsApp, and my background is changed automatically. That has been done by Liquid, so we can create a unified look and feel for both Windows and Mac. Here are some applications that are not being installed yet. As you can see, no WhatsApp or Chrome. We're basically putting the icons on the desktop. But if I now click on WhatsApp, and to show you how that looks like, is now going to install, if it's on macOS or Windows. If it's macOS, it will install the application. For Windows, it will install the application from the Microsoft Store. And after that, it will immediately start WhatsApp. So if I double click on WhatsApp, all right, of course. Let's give it a while. It's now being installed and started. As you can see over here, we can do the same thing on Windows. The only difference is that if I'm logging in, it will install WhatsApp from my Microsoft Store because there is the latest WhatsApp version available. One moment, please. All right, there we go. As you guys can see, my background is changed, and I'm now having the same look and feel that I had on the macOS. The shortcuts are being placed on the desktop, WhatsApp and Chrome, and WhatsApp is not being installed yet. So I will click on it. And as you guys can see, WhatsApp is being installed from the Microsoft Store. And it's automatically being launched. So now let's demo what we can do a lot more than that, because we talked about the smart icons. This was one part of the smart icon, what we can do. I'm logging in. So this is my liquid workspace environment. And as you can see, we grab an example of Excel. And what will happen here is on the first successful hit that it finds, it will start Excel. Because I'm on my Mac, Excel will start from my Mac. Basically on this, we have also a filter that says if the platform is macOS and you find this path, then start Excel. So in the previous demo, you saw the deployment of Excel. So Excel is already been installed, so it has to start Excel. And as you can see, Excel is being started. So basically, when I do the same thing over here, right, just wait. Yeah, there we go. Yes. And when I click on Excel, the same stuff will happen. Excel will be started on my Windows platform. So that's what Liquid can do on both platforms to create the same look and feel and experience on both Windows and Mac OS. So we now have some time left. So if there are any questions, please feel to ask anything. Sas, are there any questions?
I did see a few pop by. One question is, let me read this. Applications are automatically updated from the setup store. Is clicking on an icon the only possible way to update an application?
No, that's one way to do it, but we have several ways of updating an application or installing an application. So it can be when you click on, of course, when you click on an application, but you can trigger it when you log in, when you change from an environment, or maybe when you lock your screen. There are several ways to do so.
Okay. Another one is, can we choose a specific time for the application update so it fits our maintenance windows?
Yes, we can customize that as well. So yeah.
And then I got one last one. Can we add customer specific settings to applications?
Yeah, that's the power from Liquid, that you can use specific custom settings in your applications. That, yes, that's possible, of course.
Okay.
No further
Those
questions.
are all the questions that I see right now. Anyone else in the chat or in the question mark button? No. No further questions. So I think we kept perfectly to our 30 minutes schedule. Don, if there's nothing you want to add, then I think we can just thank everybody for joining today and for listening in. And if you do have any questions, please do reach out via email or phone, and we'll help you at another time. Thank you very much, and have a great day.
Thank you. Bye bye.